What's that mean as far as you don't know what to expect from anyone? Really,
we don't know what to expect from them, and they don't know what to expect from us. But we've got a lot of practice in on it with the spike kicks in the zone, and we'll see what we get. We'll see what we do. We'll find out Thursday night.
Have you settled on return guys yet?
We settled in, yeah. Steele will be back there. Hardman will be back there. Obviously, Sky will be back there. Might see Worthy. P. Ryan, he could do it. He's another guy. So those are our options.
What about punts?
Punts, McCole, Worthy, Sky.
One of the things when you guys brought Matt in, it's someone new in the operation for the holding and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How's that gone with them?
Matt has done a fantastic job. Him and Buck are they haven't missed a beat. At all. Really, they're fine. The operation's good. I'm excited to see Matt as a punter. Obviously his first game. First regular season game. So it's going to be an exciting night.
What's the ideal kickoff spot? What's the ideal placement of a kickoff?
The ideal, if you're going to spike it, if you're going to try to hit it into the end zone, the ideal thing is to hit it probably around the 5 to the goal line, obviously inside the setup zone, and then something to go for a touchback that they can't handle. It gets by them, and they have to decide to take a touchback. We get the ball to 20. That's ideal kickoff that you can get.
And Harrison's he's as adept as any.
He's good at that. He can move the ball around. He can do that. And I feel confident with him doing that.
Matt's time to get here was delayed with everything that happened with him. How have you found him as a person? Is he just as happy as anyone to get his chance?
He's a great person. He's a great guy to be around. Fit right in right away. Like I said, I feel like we really haven't missed a beat as far as operation goes with the field goal. As far as that goes, and Matt has done a good job. We just gotta, you gotta remember he's a rookie, and it's going to take some time. There's going to be some growing pains a little bit as we go. We're not, going to ask him to be at Tommy Townsend's level coming in. The way he went out. He's going to continue to get better as we go. That's what we anticipate. But I'm excited about his prospects.
Does his leg remind you of anyone?
He's different than Tommy. A little bit different. He's more of a punch hitter. Lefty, obviously different, totally there. But different than I've had, between Colquitt and Tommy. A lot different.
What's the upside on the new tight end Hendershot for special teams?
He's good. He's played all 4 phases. He's done it. He was a good player at Dallas. We're excited to have him on the roster. He's a possible guy that could come in and fill a backup role at this point. He just got here a week ago. So, we're not going to ask him to do a lot right now. But there is a chance, he could be up. If he's up, then he'll be in that role.
How changes the stadium to stadium? Any added distance on Butker's range this year, you think, from training?
I don't think so. I think, he's still strong. He's hit 70-yarders in practice. It's unbelievable. But he's consistent. He could probably make a 60-yarder, even into the wind. So he's strong.
Last one. Anybody? Thanks, Toby.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
For some reason right now. We got a light crew, huh? Nobody's interested in the Thursday night game? Yeah, they're already in the loud. That's what happens. Nice of you guys to hang with me.
What's your excitement level?
Yeah, fired up. Listen, it's the first game. It's been a long training camp. We're anxious to hit somebody else. And then the other thing is we really haven't had our guy, the starting crew out there very much. So we got a lot to kind of figure out on the go, which is what the first game's all about. You don't know what you're going to get. They haven't shown us much. we haven't shown them much, and it's kind of the in-game adjustments that are really important in this game.
Steve, how do you see just that second cornerback spot?
Yeah, it's an unanswered question right now, to be honest with you. With the injuries that we dealt with and guys in and out, it was hard to say this is the guy that won the job. So there'll probably be a bunch of them playing. We mix and match a lot anyway, so there'll be a lot of that going on.
And then with the slot corner spot, when you had LJ there 2 years ago and you had Trent there last year, they were also factors in the blitz, but also the run game specifically.
Yeah.
I imagine against a team like this, they played pretty vital roles.
Yeah.
How important is that role, especially against the Ravens?
Yeah, really important for that exact reason. I mean, the expectation is they're going to come in here and try to run it, which we get it. Hopefully we can get them in situations where they got to throw, and we can be good against that. Because this team, listen, they get noted as a running team. They can do everything. They got really good wideouts. The quarterback can extend the down. We all know that. He's accurate. We got a great deal of respect for him. They're well coached. You guys know how I feel about John. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge right out of the gate here in the first game of the season.
How much of a correlation is there between the decision to have Trent follow and the size and wingspan of opposing top receiver X? How much does the size maybe play?
Yeah, listen, I guess you can bring that into play. If we end up doing that in a certain game, it's probably just based on the talent of the receiver. And listen, along the way, all of these guys, Trent, Chamari, NJ. I know Jalen and Josh are a little bit bigger, but all these guys have had to deal with big receivers. I don't know why all these big receivers didn't decide to become defensive players. I always ask that question, but never had a good answer yet.
Steve, do you see any kind of significant role early in the season for Hicks on defense, at least?
Yeah. Listen, he's backing up a bunch of spots now that we got, Justin Reed back. But one of the things that we do like to do, and I kind of believe in this, the early part of the season, the first quarter, call it, I like to get guys some playing time here and there, and sometimes you got to do it in key situations, and it might be to rest guys because we're not used to playing 60, 70 plays and being ready for the fourth quarter, and also giving guys experience along the way. I remember a couple of years back when we were rotating some guys at linebacker. I think it was Willie and somebody else, and I think I got asked one time, how come we're but as the season went on and guys got hurt, now guys had a little bit of a foundation of some playing time in games, and that helped. So, we may do a little bit of that with Jaden Hicks.
What do you like about Cam Thomas, the new Detroit player?
Yeah, a high motor. He's a hard-running Jesse. And it was kind of evident in practice yesterday. I don't know him really well. I've seen the tape and whatnot. But he's the ambitious guy. He's been in there with Joe. It seems like every time we're not in a meeting as a defensive staff, it seems like Joe's in there with Cam or Terry Braden's in there with him, and he's eager. So that's a good thing.
How does Derrick Henry maybe change the game? You already mentioned Lamar and the threat that he is, but now the tandem, hasn't been seen before. How do you prepare for that?
Well, as you would expect, right? It's a all-pro running back, all-pro quarterback. Who's got the ball? And when the quarterback puts it in the belly, is the running back keeping it? I hope they have a little fight over who's going to take it. It's a tremendous challenge, although I think this offense, by nature and who they are and what they're about, no matter who's back there. Now, this guy's a great one, Derrick Henry, but even last year we had a great deal of respect for what they did in the run game, and we still do. And we have a great deal of respect for what they do in the pass game. I watched number 4 and 7 run around, and Aguilar's a veteran, savvy vet. I got some big tight ends, and I know 89 hasn't played a lot in the preseason here, and I'm not sure where he is health-wise. But you talk about a lot of weapons. Hopefully we got a lot of weapons on offense too, so their defense got to face the same thing.
What do you feel about heading into this one with your linebackers, Nick's health? Changes you've had.
Yeah, Nick, the health of Nick is big. Leo's been in there. He was coming off the back injury in the spring, but he seems to be okay. And Drew, got to keep all those guys healthy, Jack included, and Cam. But Nick, and I don't know that Nick has really fully tested. I know I watch him practice. There's a lot of times he doesn't, he's not putting it in. I think he's just trying to get to the game. But my guess is that when we turn the lights on and it's time to go, Nick will be going.
Couple more.
Oh, I wore them out already.
You did.
Thanks.
Coach.
Yeah, you got it. You guys want to
Go ahead.
Got the word today that Clyde was on the non-football illness list. How do running back snaps going to work this week?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's one of those next man up mentalities that we all talk about, but that's real. I think the guys have done a great job all training camp. Pacheco's been phenomenal at kind of understanding his role, and then these other guys as we get going. This will be important for all of us to make sure that whether it's running the football, protections, or in the pass game, that everyone knows, no matter who it is, that they feel really good about their assignments.
What's reasonable to expect from P. Ryan Thursday night?
Yeah, again, we're learning that ourselves right now too, Adam. I think we're learning that as we get through this. How much can he handle? What's too much? What's not enough? There's a balance, but certainly one thing that I've taken from being with him these short amount of days is that super smart. He's a true pro. He gets it. So we just got to balance how much.
Well, it's just we don't know exactly what Clyde's experiencing. I'm sure probably only he knows exactly what he's experiencing, but just the thoughts that you have as far as having a player that's going through that, and just the delicate balance of, knowing that he maybe needs this time.
It's for me, the way I look at it is just from the personal side. We all have different things that we go through, and Clyde is such a special person. He's a great human being. And so I think, number one, everybody in this building wants to make sure that Clyde is good on that side and that he's happy and enjoying everything that he does, because when he's in the building, he's phenomenal. So that's number one. And then the other stuff all takes care of itself. And, just even being with him today and seeing him, he's in a good spot. So we want the best for him. He's a great person, and I'm sure that's what will happen.
What tells you Xavier Worthy is ready for this moment here to be productive, even though it is his first NFL game?
Probably the biggest thing is making sure that we understand that this is going to be an emotional game, and understanding that there's going to be some moments where there's a mistake with a route assignment, but there's also going to be big plays. This game is about preparation for all of us as coaches, and then for the players, it's being able to be proficient within their execution. He falls into that. It's his first time doing it. He's not the only one. We have some other guys. It'll be their first time in Arrowhead, their first time playing an NFL game. For Xavier, he's done everything we've asked him to do mentally. The physical challenge will show up. It's going to be a physical game with an experienced defense, and they're very well coached.
Matt, a similar question about Suamataia. What have you seen from him that tells you he's ready for what he's going to see Thursday night?
Just from what he's put on tape and the way he's been mentally in preseason, I think physically he's shown us he can do some good things. Again, the mindset of understanding, and Coach Reed always talks about it. You got the training camp, you got preseason, and then you get to the season. And then as you go through the season, you get playoffs, you get Super Bowl. Every game gets, more physical and more physical. So for him, it's going to be challenge number one is being great there in the physical trenches of running and pass blocking. But at the same time, you got to be mentally strong in these games. And that's our job as coaches, to make sure that we understand. You get some young guys that are playing their first game. Are we giving them enough help mentally to give them the best chance to succeed?
One of those guys is Carson Steele. He's a rookie, not drafted. Nothing was given to him. When did he pop for you? You're like, wait a second, this may be a guy who could make this 53.
personally, for me, I think it started with all of us really just his assignments and OTAs was pretty crisp. He knew what he was doing. He knew where he was going. You never know how he's going to do until you put the pads on. He took it to training camp, put the pads on, made some nice plays. A splash play here or there definitely helps, but it's got to be consistent over periods of plays and series of drives. I thought he did that. There's still some things that internally we know he can get better at. He knows it. Now you take it to the Thursday Night Football against a really good football team. Again, balancing the emotions of understanding there will be some mistakes, but do it 100% of the time, and he does that.
You talked about him handling his assignments and OTAs. Put that into perspective for us. How typical is that for a rookie running back to be able to do that?
It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy, and that's probably what hurdled him a little bit in regards to us noticing who he is. You got to pull guys back sometimes in OTAs with the speed. So a lot of times there's no pads. So, but he was always full speed all the time, and some guys might have been in a walkthrough period, and he was not in a walkthrough period. That's okay, but he was making the proper mental adjustments and reads throughout practice, and took it to the game, got to football, made some plays, opened up some eyes. But at the same point in time, that's not the only thing we're looking at. We're looking at the big picture. He's got a ways to go. And we all do need to keep in mind and remember he's young and he's inexperienced. So I think there's a balance to the expectations of a lot of these guys, and we got to be able to balance that.
When you're in an OC and you're going up against the defensive coordinator in his first game, how do you begin to tackle okay, what do we expect here?
Yeah, this game coming up for every team coming up this whole first week is all about adapting. That's it. How do you adapt? How well do you adapt? They have a new defensive coordinator for first time that he's calling plays. Whether it's the same or different, we'll see. But they're going to have some unscouted looks, and we're going to see some things that are different. How do we adjust? And so making sure that our guys can play fast is important, but a lot of respect for them, and it's going to be a physical game.
And what is the process of looking through unscouted looks, even without asking to give something away? How do you prepare for unscouted looks?
You want to make sure that you understand on our side, we know what we can do. So whatever we can do and whatever we put in, we want to make sure we're really good at that. So that whatever they do to counterattack it, we know where to go. We always talk about know where the bones are buried. So that's how kind of we go about that.
Now, I know it's only been a few practices, but how about impressions of Peyton Hendershot?
He's done it. It hasn't been a lot of practices, and I think a lot of these guys that come in here, they're just getting used to what we do in practice, like where to go and run and all that stuff. So there's some things here or there. The one thing is you can definitely see that he's athletic and he's smooth and running around special teams doing different things. So I'm excited to see him get going.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Chris.
See you.
Take care.